So this session now is really one of the very important sessions, and I think divine justice is a very, very sensitive topic right now. With everything that's happening in the world, we are looking at just horrors going on, and we're saying, where's the justice, you know? So this session now, we're gonna really discuss this area and see how it works. What is that about, and where is the divine justice and how it gets activated? Did you feel unjust and unfair, and it just really like touched you so deep, and you just felt that something is wrong and there's nothing you can do about it, right? So I think most of us experience this unfair. It's like, but it's not just the normal unfair thing. Is like, okay, there's rich people and we're not, so it's unfair. No, it's not that. But it is rather some situation that happened that really in your heart you felt that is unfair, whatever that could be. Then it can be somebody accused you of something that was untrue, and you just got treated in a bad way as a result of it, and people judged you, but that was not true at all, right? And as much as you will try to explain it, you are not heard, and you feel really injustice, and that sense of injustice is very critical. But how we use it then is the point. If we got brainwashed that we are victims, and yeah, we have no power, and people can come and just step on us, and it's okay, and we take it like this, then we go down a black hole. We just go into a spiral, and depression and whatever happens after that. And so that lack of power, along with the injustice, is a deadly combination. And it shouldn't be like that. And I think that's what we're going to discuss it here. How does the universal justice work? And where are we within that structure? And how does the justice get restored? Yeah. So the universe already starts to work on addressing an injustice once we recognize it. If we feel that pain of unfairness or injustice, the universe immediately starts to work on it, provided that we don't take action and try to revenge and try to explain. The moment we try to argue and then get upset and then stop talking to the people or go around and try to talk bad about them or whatever to recover, the universe says, okay, you're going to deal with it, deal with it. And then we're stuck in this cycle. And however, if we say, you know what, that is unfair, and the universe, I'll leave it to your karma now, or I'll leave it to God to manage that situation. And if you leave it like that, but not take any action, not invest any energy in it, the universe will start working exactly to get your what is your own right back, and the unjust person towards you that did it intentionally, they're going to get it back multiplied, not just in the same level.
Very true.
Yeah.
I saw it.
We saw it, exactly. When you leave it and you say, okay, minnak lillah, basically, it's between you and the source God. It comes multiplied.
Hi, Akmal, it's Randa. So you mean you recognize it, but without taking action?
Yes, you recognize it and you say, minnak lillah, I leave it to your karma to deal with it. That's it. I mean, you forgive in a sense where you're saying, okay, I will not take any action against you, but I will leave the universe to deal with whatever.
You mean I'll surrender to the Creator?
To the divine justice. Exactly. I surrender to the divine justice, and I will leave you then to the divine justice to deal with you. You can forgive completely, but still the person who went out of their way to harm someone, they're going to get something. The universe will make sure of that, whether you forgive. We should forgive them. You know how, I think it's Buddha who said that the person who holds to a grudge or who holds anger towards someone is like someone who's holding a burning coal and wants to throw it at someone. They actually burn themselves first. So anybody who doesn't forgive is actually hurting themselves. So we should forgive, and then the universe will take its own course. We can't stop it, and it will not stop, because there is balance. If somebody goes hurting someone, they're going to get it. There's no question about it, whether we forgive them or not. So basically, every act of oppression or every hidden hand trying to hold us back gets recorded. It just gets noticed. Anybody who intentionally goes out of their way to suppress another a human being and or to give them obstacles in their life, to make their life difficult, to make them unhappy or pain, give them pain, all that gets recorded in the universal balance. It doesn't get lost. The moment the person goes out of their way to hurt someone, the universe will start shifting things to get to that person and balance whatever they did by letting them experience the pain they caused to someone else or even more. But they will get the challenge through people close to them that will give them the pain, you know. So the universe will work out the script of the drama this way to get them to experience the pain that they cause to others. It can take a while because the universe now will start creating a whole theatrical thing. The timing, it's divine timing, it's not our timing. We don't have the karmas of our grandparents that we have to pay for it. That doesn't work this way. I'm just saying that the person who hurt someone may have their marriage being dissolved and they go through traumas, or in their work, they will have difficulties in their jobs and they get fired from their work, or their business will crash, collapse or something. But it's within their lifetime, and not their kids will pay for the price of the parents. It doesn't work like that. So when somebody disrespects another human being, another soul, another breath of God in this earth, on this world, whether through manipulation or control, it really triggers a very strong spiritual response. It does, because it's love that holds the universe together. The flow of the universe is based on love. It's not based on dark matter or dark whatever that they call it. It's actually that love, basically. And anybody who would just take action against that starts up a whole process in the universe, equally powerful, equally cosmic. So yes, it triggers a spiritual response. The moment somebody disrespects someone or acts in an unfair or unjust way, because they're not acting to that person as a physiology, as some dummy. They're acting to the essence of the creator within that person in this disrespectful way. And in this case, it activates this whole universal thing. Provided that the other person then would respond to it in that dignified way and see it on that level, then that universal response will start taking action. So the energy we carry is not just our own energy. It's not just a physical body that is hollow, it's empty from inside. It's actually a divine force that shields and protects us in a way. And if we are the underdog, if we're the person who's being victimized and stuff, then there is the greater force of the universe that's going to come and look after us. And we have to have that faith. Now, if we don't have that faith and we don't believe in that, then we are on our own and we're going to miss on a lot. So, okay, so as soon as a destructive or a controlling entities from around then try to, or structures, maybe society structures, maybe political, maybe world controlling, dominating kind of forces, they start moving against the essence of the creator, as in the form of humans, and subject them to real horrible situations like what's happening now in Palestine and in many parts of the world, really. Their foundation will begin to crumble the moment they take this step. But when you're dealing with a civilization or with an actual people that have done this over a lengthy period of time, the universe is working its own plan, and it takes a bit longer than what we would like. It may take one generation of situations building up and turning around and crashing these entities, but they will go. Where are the civilizations of the past? The big powers, you know, whether it's the British Empire that the sun doesn't set on it, or the French whatever, or the Spanish whatever, or the Greeks or Romans, Today, they're just little countries and with small economies and having problems, you know. So that's how it works. But it may take, you know, 50 years, 20 years, 100 years for it to do according to what kind of damage they did. So we cannot measure it with, there is a divine time and then there's the human time. And if we feel impatient that it's been 70 years and all the horrors are happening in Palestine and nothing is being done, well, it may take now 70 years to reach a stage to finalize that situation, possibly. So, and we're witnessing that now. We're seeing the crashing of that. Okay, so it begins by them starting to lose their power. They lose their grip on their own stability. They don't have as much control as they used to before. I mean, they look at... Okay, so we'll repeat again. The divine justice is a spiritual mechanism through which actions, intentions, and energies are balanced. So it's talking about even an intention. Like if I intend something in my mind to hurt someone or to insult them or to send them anger or hate or any of the negative emotions, that is actually as if we did something physical to them. It's just we're doing it on an emotional or intentional level, but it is equally damaging. Even if we didn't speak to them, it's inside of our head. If we think about it and we send resentment to someone or we give them a hateful kind of emotion, well, that is as if we kicked them or we did some physical to the thing, but we just did it on an etheric level. So, and it will need to be balanced. So we will find some situation happening to us where somebody will just come in with a blowtorch and give us some resentment or some hate or something. And I think it's what you were mentioning earlier, that we may have done things in the past while we were figuring out how this world works, and we exchanged some negative intentions or some negativities that we've expressed towards others, even internally. And then suddenly we were faced with a situation that was very hard, because that's how we learn. And that's how we realize that the universe also balances things. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that is part of the learning experience. So the universe naturally seeks harmony and ensures that every experience, positive or negative, finds its resolution. Okay, so let's repeat the affirmation of this one. The universe restores balance.
The universe restores balance.
And I trust the process of divine justice.
And I trust the process of divine justice.
Okay, so the power of releasing injustice. If we're walking around life feeling this heavy weight of being oppressed and being really just powerless and anybody can come and abuse us, if you're just walking around like that, then we are almost keeping that vibration and maintaining it. It's like taking a geopolitical example, what happened in Germany in Second World War, and that group that felt we were oppressed, that we're being tortured or whatever, and never again, or anytime you say never again, you're actually repeating it to yourself. You're repeating the condition, or you're doing it to others, because your entire focus is that situation that you don't want to happen. Subconscious mind doesn't understand a negative. So you're just going to repeat the same thing on, and that becomes your defining feature. And the history is showing that. So letting go of the sense of it's been unjust for me, I've been hurt, I am a victim, this will actually maintain that. And we'll keep repeating it. There is a different way to look at it. So holding on to past injustice creates energetic blocks in our life. By releasing these wrongs, we free ourselves from their burden and allow the universe to resolve them on our behalf. Okay, so let's repeat the affirmation. I release all injustice. And open myself to the healing power of the universe.
Open myself to the healing power of the universe.
Okay, so reclaiming now the personal power through forgiveness. Releasing injustice doesn't mean condoning and accepting wrong actions. Instead, it's about reclaiming the power that we gave away in a moment of hurt. So when we were hurt and then with a situation that's much larger than we are, and we felt that there's no way for us to really deal with it or do anything, then we walk away with that pain and didn't activate that universal fairness to start taking place. Instead, we actually give away our power. And we said, okay, the bully is there, they're bigger than me, I'll just pay the money and go home and as if nothing happened. That will not restore the justice this way. You may not have to say it, you can't. Maybe if you're dealing with some authority, then you're not going to be able to have a conversation with them. But internally you say that is unfair, like you said about the tickets, right? That is unfair. And then say the universe will get you back. I will leave it to the universe to get the back.
But you may actually pay the fine.
You'll pay the fine because you but you activate that I'm paying this. Yeah, I'm paying the fine, but that is unfair. So yeah, you don't want to challenge someone physically in that sense. But rather you would pay it, but internally say that is unfair, and I activate the divine justice to deal with this. Yeah. So it's not about just accepting and walking away. Yeah. It's about reclaiming our power, not giving up our power, and at that moment then we feel we hurt. So through forgiveness, we take back our energy and stop allowing past events to dictate our present. Through forgiveness, we take back our energy. We don't lose our energy when we forgive. And again, this is the forgiveness, not acceptance. There is a difference between forgiving and accepting. To forgive, I'm not going to hold the grudge and keep remembering this and sending hate back to the person. That's what forgive means, right?
Centered in love.
Centered in love, but then leave them to the universe then to restore the balance based on the injustice they've done. So through forgiveness, we take back our energy and stop allowing past events to dictate our present. How many people are walking around with a trauma that happened 30 years or 20 years before, and they identify themselves by it every time they meet someone, say, hi, I'm this person and this happened to me, you know, and they're carrying it and they identify themselves with it. Okay, so let's say the affirmation for this part, reclaiming the personal power through forgiveness. I reclaim my personal power.
I reclaim my personal power.
And I forgive.
And I forgive.
Releasing the hold of the past.
Releasing the hold of the past.
All right, so trusting in the universe's timing for justice. The timing is where we have a problem with, right? Because we always feel it's too slow, or it's not being done, but maybe it needs longer because it's such a huge situation that requires quite a bit of preparation. Because the universe is not going to send a lightning bolt on the guy immediately and do it, although sometimes now the karma is instant, really, we know it. But in some situations, because they are a soul and they need to learn a specific lesson and they need to feel the pain they inflicted on another person, it can take some dramas and some complex situations to bring the pain to that person. It's not our job to sit and with a stopwatch and with a timer and saying, okay, how quick is the response? And I think that's the whole situation. Like, we should just let it go and move on, and
come in due time.
And it will come in, and trust and have faith that it will come in due time. Then we don't carry that burning coal inside of us all our life. We just let it go. So divine justice doesn't always happen immediately. It operates on a timeline that ensures the highest good for all. And the good for someone could be the pain they will feel to learn a lesson from it. Yeah, that is still good. It's part of that balance. Trusting in the timing of divine balance allows us to let go of the need for control. So now we leave it to the divine balance, then we don't have to do anything or worry about it or even think. So the affirmation is, I trust in divine timing.
I trust in divine timing.
Justice and balance will be restored in perfect timing.
Justice and balance will be restored in perfect time.
Okay. And now reclaiming personal power through the connection with our higher self or with the self. Okay, so our personal power comes from within and it's always available for us. If we externalize it, if we think that the power comes from our superiors at work or of authorities or of governments or of whoever has a gun or has power, perceived power, then we really give that power to them to do whatever they like. But actually it's inside of us because we have that core connection with the Creator. It's not an external thing. When we feel it and we have it, then that is our biggest power. And anyone outside who doesn't rely on this is not to be compared in power to what the power we have. It's just that probably these superficial control matrix structures wanted us to forget about this power or lose the knowledge of it so that they can control us with the pathetic little weapons and little cheap techniques that they do to just make people feel small. But once we connect internally and realize this power that we have, and it's not an ego power, it's not like I'm bigger than anybody and I can go and beat people up. It's not like that. It's more like the justice is with our side, is on our side. And because it's love, it's coming from love and coming from that, the absolute faith in the divine balance and justice. What could be more powerful than this? So by connecting with our higher self and aligning with the universal flow, we strengthen our inner authority and rise above any external control. It's like that Prometheus statue flying above the control of the zodiac. If we place ourselves in that position, aligned with the source, the universal flow, there isn't any single external control or power that will be greater than this. Okay, affirmation. I connect with my higher self.
I connect with my higher self.
And my personal power radiates from within.
And my personal power radiates from within.
I will post all these affirmations and everything in the group, so you're welcome to take it and work on it on a daily basis, really, because we want this to become our subconscious patterns. Yeah. Okay, so now we will begin a meditation. It's a guided meditation, and yeah. It's basically to release injustice, to trust in the divine justice, and reclaim our personal power. Okay. So, okay, so let's repeat this affirmation before we begin. I'm ready to release injustice.
I'm ready to release injustice.
Trust
Trust.
and reclaim my power.
And reclaim my power.